Message with the word North and northampton.lunch@bbc.co.uk. We're on Facebook and Twitter as well. So we're talking about should prisoners be entitled to legal aid and about part-time working, because 73% of part-time workers say they've never been promoted since working part-time. Now, should part-time workers feel disadvantaged then? Joining me is Andrew Crisp, who is a partner at Advantage Employment Law based in Northampton and on the line now. Hello there, Andrew.
Hello.
Well, do part-time workers have protection from feeling disadvantaged in the workplace?
They do have protection, yes. The part-time worker regulations came in July 2000, and they were designed to end less favourable treatment for part-time workers by providing minimum standards. And it was also intended to encourage flexible working in the workplace, because more employees would hopefully be willing to change to part-time if they needed to.
So what are the regulations hoping to stamp out then?
Okay, well, two things essentially. Firstly, less favourable treatment in terms of the employment contract terms, such as the hourly rate or access to benefits. And also, it's intended to prevent a detriment. So that means, for example, being overlooked for promotion or being selected for redundancy on the basis of being part-time.
Now, in your experience then, would you say that the system is working, or are there things that need to be ironed out?
It's very difficult to say whether it's working. One of the reasons for that is there aren't many cases about it. Employees are understandably reluctant to take their employer to an employment tribunal. They want to keep their job, they don't want to fall out with their boss. But the report from the TimeWise Foundation that came out today indicates that a lot of people do feel that they're being treated less favourably because of their part-time status.
See, would that be because if you're in a part-time role, you sometimes can fill a void in an organisation that isn't full-time, but they need an extra pair of hands, and you're just there to do the job, and you're left there, and there's no plan for you. Is that the reason why, would you say?
That may be the reason in some instances. In other circumstances, it might simply be that the employer would prefer someone who's there 5 days a week for the particular job that they're wanting to promote someone into. So there could be a number of reasons.
So, if people are working part-time listening to this, if they feel they're not being considered for promotion, they feel trapped in their job, is there anything they can do?
If they are being treated less favourably, they can request a written statement of reasons for that treatment, and their employer would be obliged to give that statement. They may want to raise a written grievance where they set out their concerns in writing. Then the employer is required to go through a grievance procedure where these things can be discussed properly. If necessary, they can bring an employment tribunal claim, and then it would be for an employment judge to decide whether or not they're being treated less favourably. If they were successful in that claim, they could be awarded compensation, including compensation for injury to feelings, as well as any lost earnings they may have suffered.
The thing is, though, Andrew, some people might think that's a lot of hassle to go through for something that's essentially a part-time job. They might feel they could move and get another one somewhere else.
Well, that's true, although if people like their job and if they're happy in it, they've obviously chosen part-time for a reason, then in some instances they may be inclined to bring tribunal proceedings. But as I said, very few people seem inclined to do that.
Well, I was just alluding to the fact that maybe people didn't want to go down that path because they might just think, shrug their shoulders and think, well, it's only a part-time job, what's the point, no one's going to take me seriously. I mean, there must be a lot of that.
Well, you say only a part-time job for...
Well, I'm not saying that, but I mean, some people might... But people have different attitudes towards their work, of course, you know. And that's... I'm not saying it's only a part... But some people might feel that way about it.
Yes, that's right. So some people may do, and they may think, I'll just go and get another job. For others, I think part-time work's very important, particularly if it frees them up to spend time with their family, or if they've got a particular hobby or charitable commitment. I think that working part-time can often help.
Well, that's fascinating stuff. It's good to get a bit of insight from someone in the law as well, because it's not something we often hear a lot about part-time workers, and yet they do make up a lot, a quarter of the workforce.
That's
and,
right.
and I suppose in today's modern world as well, jobs sometimes hard to come by. For some people, the only job they can get is a part-time job. So of course, maybe people want to cling on to it even more. So you say that, so at least they know there is some kind of support network for them if they have a grievance.
Yes, that's right.
Lovely. Thank you very much. That's Andrew Crisp. Good to talk to you, a partner at Advantage Employment Law, based in Northampton here on BBC Radio Northampton. So what do you think?